Today, you will be shocked by what each of these people can do. Join us as we meet people who have abilities that seem like superpowers. Let's go. Number 14. Samurai. It sounds like a special effect from a Hollywood movie, but a modern-day samurai warrior was filmed in slow motion slicing a high-speed projectile in half with his sword at a shooting range in Los Angeles in 2011. In a Guinness World Records video, Isao Machi's blade can be seen cutting a bullet, moving at 0.088 kilometers per second, 0.547 miles per second, into two pieces. The organization had to film with a special camera that slowed the footage down 250 times to capture the moment. Machi became world famous after setting the record for the most sword cuts on a mat. He also managed to make 1,000 cuts on a straw mat in just over 36 seconds. In 2004, Isao cut a mat 7 times before it hit the ground. 11 years later, he cut a freestanding mat 8 times while in midair. By the time the thing hit the ground, he had reduced it to rags and threads. Scientists believe that Machi has sensory abilities in addition to good vision and movement. However, simple clinical and laboratory tests have failed to confirm this unusual condition. The fastest samurai on Earth has scientists scratching their heads. Number 13. The real-life Batman. As a baby, Daniel Kish developed retinoblastoma, a cancer that affects the eyes. He had to have both eyes removed before he was 1 year old. To navigate his environment, Kish developed his own echolocation system, using the same techniques that bats use to fly in the dark. In fact, he has been called the real-life Batman. As he moved, Kish would click his tongue. He realized that each surface had its own sound. He could recognize a tree, for example, because its trunk produced a different echo than its branches and leaves. By listening to the echoes of his clicks, Daniel Kish was able to construct a 3D image in his mind of the objects around him. It is believed that the clicking noises activate the brain's visual functions, which improves spatial and depth perception. Kish says that he can often find the exit from a concert hall faster than a sighted person, because he can identify the exit from a long distance away. If you're in a noisy place, it just increases the volume of your clicking sounds. Number 12. The Metal Eater. Michel Lotito, nicknamed Mr. Eat Everything, completely revolutionized the concept of human digestion with his extraordinary ability to consume absolutely improbable objects. Born in 1950 in Grenoble, France, Lotito developed a digestive system so unique that he could swallow materials that would normally be lethal to any human being. As a teenager, Lotito discovered his unusual talent when he began ingesting pieces of glass and metal fragments without suffering any harm. Doctors identified that his stomach lining was abnormally thick, with extremely potent digestive acids, allowing him to consume almost any solid material. His public performances defied all medical logic. Lotito preferred a diet consisting of objects such as nails, razor blades, broken light bulbs, and even lit cigarettes. His most impressive feats include devouring an entire bicycle in 2 years, a television set, and even a Cessna 150 airplane, a challenge that took him approximately 2 years to complete. The pinnacle of his culinary achievements came in 1997, when at the age of 42, he completely consumed an airplane, except for the engine and frame. Surprisingly, despite such an unusual diet, Lotito had no significant health problems, except for the occasional metallic burp. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 11. The Mini Hulk. Liam Hoekstra is not a comic book character, but a real human being who defies all limits of muscular strength. Born in Michigan in 2005, Liam has a unique genetic condition that has turned him into a true prodigy of physical strength. From the first months of his life, he demonstrated amazing motor skills that left doctors and family in shock. At 5 months, Liam was already doing push-ups with his beard up and was able to stand up without assistance. At 8 months, he was climbing up and down stairs independently. By age 3, his strength surpassed that of many adults. He could do multiple angled push-ups, hang from power lines, and even carry his father on 30-minute walks on his back. The source of this extraordinary strength lies in a rare genetic mutation that causes extremely low levels of myostatin, a protein that normally inhibits muscle growth. This condition allows your muscles to grow and develop exponentially, resulting in impressive musculature and extraordinary strength. Now a teenager, Liam can deadlift over 200 pounds, bench press over 150 pounds, and squat over 240 pounds. far more than his own body weight. His photos show off his professional bodybuilder quality abs, all without the need for intensive, conventional training. Number 10. The Water Tamer. The feat of running 125 meters on water is not a random trick, but the result of decades of Shaolin training. Shaolin monks dedicate years to developing techniques of movement and body control that defy conventional physical limits. The technique used by Shi Liliang involves extreme speed and precise weight distribution. Her feet touch the surface of the water at such rapid intervals that they do not allow her to sink, creating the illusion of movement on the water. This method requires specific muscular strength, absolute balance, and speeds of over 4.5 meters per second. Biomechanical research reveals that Liliang uses principles similar to those of aquatic insects, such as water gliding. The surface tension of the water and the speed of its movement allow it to literally run without breaking the liquid surface. Number 9. Super regeneration. Known worldwide for his extreme demonstrations, Tim Cridland pierces his own body with large skewers without feeling any pain, without any damage, and with extremely fast healing. In a few hours or days, any sign of trauma disappears, as if the body had regenerated in an almost supernatural way. This phenomenon leaves experts astonished and searching for explanations for something that seems to go beyond known human capabilities. Watching his performances, it is clear that he has transcended traditional human capabilities. Scientists and doctors are trying to understand how his body can withstand such violence without suffering permanent damage or feeling pain. Number 8. Super mathematical genius. Daniel Tammet is a fascinating example of how neurodiversity can reveal surprising talents. Diagnosed with autism and epilepsy, Tammet completely defies traditional stereotypes about neurological differences by displaying truly extraordinary cognitive abilities. Born in England in 1979, Tammet demonstrated from an early age prodigious abilities that defy common understanding. His numerical ability goes far beyond simple rote memorization. For him, numbers are not abstract symbols, but living entities with unique personalities, textures, shapes, and colors. A phenomenon known as synesthesia. His ability to learn languages is equally impressive. Tammet can assimilate new languages with surprising ease, intuiting connections that escape most people. His mind works like a complex mosaic, where information is interconnected in unconventional ways. A notable example of his abilities is his ability to recite more than 20 decimal places of pi from memory, not as a mechanical exercise, but as an almost poetic experience, where each number represents a detailed and unique mental landscape. Number 7. Elastic Man. Javier Botet is a Spanish actor with a peculiar gift. His extremely long limbs and thin body give him the appearance of a human skeleton. When he did a screen test in 2013, many people assumed they were watching a puppet because Botet was able to move his limbs in very unexpected and disturbing ways. Botet suffers from Marfan syndrome, which results in hyperflexibility. His condition has allowed him to build a career in horror films, where he has appeared as aliens, lepers, monsters, and mummies, as well as the urban folklore-inspired Slender Man. He first noticed the condition as a child and enjoyed bending his arms and legs into unusual shapes. Well, we all need a hobby. Marfan syndrome is a rare genetic disorder that results in extreme height and thinness, as well as hyperflexibility. It can also cause heart defects and blindness. Right now, however, Javier Botet is using these elastic powers to conquer Hollywood. Number 6. Invisible Woman. Cheryl Maynard was born with an extremely rare condition that has made her virtually invisible to the eyes of modern society, especially when it comes to security systems. While everyone has unique fingerprints, even among identical twins, Cheryl is one of the few people in the world who was born without these marks. This is due to a condition called adermatoglyphia, which is caused by a genetic mutation and affects a very small portion of the population. In Cheryl's case, this lack of fingerprints is not just a genetic curiosity, but a daily challenge. Without fingerprints, she has faced great difficulties when trying to find jobs, since many companies use this characteristic to verify identities and carry out security processes. However, for Cheryl, this condition can also have its advantages. If she wanted to pursue a life of crime, for example, there would be no fingerprint trail to identify her actions. Number 5. The toughest man in the world. Zhao Rui, a Shaolin monk, possesses physical abilities that defy any traditional understanding of human ability. Since childhood, Rui has been trained in the ancient techniques of the Shaolin monks, which include extreme practices of pain resistance and physical endurance. His superhuman strength allows him to perform feats such as walking on hot coals, withstanding violent blows, and enduring situations that, for any normal person, would be unthinkable. In one of the videos that caused a great impact on the internet, Zhao Rui holds an electric drill pressed against his temple without suffering any damage to his skin for an astonishing 10 seconds. In addition, he has the power to bend an iron bar with his neck, lie on a bed of sharp metal arrows, and even break rocks with his head. Scientists try to understand how he manages to survive such experiences without injury, but the explanation remains a mystery. Number 4. The woman who is not afraid of anything. SM suffers from a rare condition that has caused her amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for controlling emotional responses like fear, to completely deteriorate. As a result, she can no longer experience fear, no matter how terrifying the situation. In a psychological study, SM was exposed to several extreme situations to test her fear response, including watching the scariest horror movies and even touching the tongue of a venomous snake. Although she remembered being afraid of the dark as a child, her perception of fear disappeared by the time she reached adolescence after her amygdala was destroyed. One of SM's most intriguing experiences occurred when she was approached by a man armed with a knife while walking through a park at night. Instead of panicking, she responded calmly, telling him that he would have to get past her guardian angel before touching her, which ended up intimidating the attacker. She describes the experience as strange, as her reaction was completely out of character for someone in such a situation. Number 3. Eco. Elizabeth Sulzer has an extraordinary neurological condition, synesthesia. Her senses work in a unique way, allowing her to experience sounds and music through colors and tastes, something completely outside the normal human sensory pattern. Unlike most people, Sulzer lives in a world where sounds are transformed into visual and gustatory experiences. Sound waves take on colors and melodies have specific flavors, creating a sensory universe completely different from the conventional one. For years, she believed that everyone experienced sounds in the same way. It was only when she discovered the uniqueness of her condition that she realized how unique her perception was. Number 1. Hair growth. The story of Norsyaita, a woman from Indonesia, is defying the laws of human biology. She has a rare and unexplained condition. Her body has continued to produce metallic hairs that have grown steadily and uninterruptedly for more than 2 decades. These hairs, which range from 10 to 20 centimeters in length, form naturally, which has puzzled doctors and scientists around the world. Initially, the condition was treated with skepticism and considered a hoax, but further investigation, including X-rays, proved that the phenomenon was real and not an illusion. Although the phenomenon has been recorded by researchers, it still defies all conventional scientific explanations. Currently, groups of scientists are trying to understand the origin of these hairs and the reason for their continuous production. Have you watched part 1 of this video? If not, I'll leave it on the screen now for you to watch. So, click on the video right now and go there. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.